Fight!
Oh, hello. I was just looking for a spooky game to play for Halloween. Let's see here. Oh, well, here we go. Monster Rancher. Well, that's got monsters in it, so that's kind of spooky, right? Hey, this isn't Monster Rancher. This is another Tecmo game. Tecmo's Deception. Huh, well, that was deceiving.
Tecmo's Deception came out on the PlayStation 1 in North America in 1996 as the first game in a series that is still going to this day. The story of Tecmo's Deception is pretty weird. Set in old castle-y times, the king of the nation of Zemeckis is killed mysteriously and you're framed for his murder by your brother. Naturally, you're sentenced to death, and with your dying breath, you plead for any power, higher or otherwise, to spare your life. A dark power hears your cries and spares your life. But at what cost? Around $20 for a North American copy online. Tink. Nah, but seriously, it costs you your soul to be saved from the angry mob, and now you're under contract to be the castle keeper for a mysterious woman called Astarte, who is trying to resurrect Satan himself by obtaining evil objects from some of the castle's intruders. The object of the game is to dispose of the intruders by either killing them outright, capturing and then either using them for monster creation, harvesting their soul for magic points, or killing them for gold. Instead of using the old trusty sword and shield, your primary method for attacking intruders is by setting up traps. This is an odd strategy RPG unlike any I've ever seen because of the trapping mechanic, which is both the game's strong and weak point. The game's innovation and uniqueness is where it really shines, but it wasn't necessarily implemented as well as it could have been. Traps are set by accessing a trap strategy screen via the Demon Gate or one of the power rooms. You set up traps ahead of time, but you can't set up traps while you're running through the castle, unfortunately, and that's where the game's action slows to a crawl. I guess it makes sense to set up traps ahead of time because it wouldn't make sense to do it right in front of the intended victim since they likely wouldn't play along. Once you've set up the traps, you have to lure your victims into the traps either by getting them to walk into them as they chase you, or by using masks that create sounds to attract their attention. This is clearly an early PlayStation game, and it shows in the graphics, which aren't too bad, but they're pretty much what you'd expect from an old PlayStation game. The soundtrack is actually pretty good, and it fits well with the spooky feel of the game. While the controls are a bit squirrely at first, there are 3 different control schemes, and you get used to maneuvering through the halls pretty quickly. There's a decent number of traps used to hurt your opponents or capture them, and they're all upgradable using gold. Each trap has its own attributes and likelihood of successfully attacking or trapping your target, but this also depends on the target's stats, and there's a pretty good variety of invaders. Actually, you need some of the invaders in order to buy and sell items because you can actually complete transactions while being attacked by a merchant. It's pretty strange. That's poor customer service. Much like in Pokemon, where pointing a Pokeball at a perfectly pristine Pokemon will probably put you in a predicament, you have to pulverize a person prior to putting him in prison. Oh, poop. Spit on my mic. Pet it. There is an element of moral choice because there are several key points in the game where your actions and choices will change the ending to one of 6 possibilities. The gameplay is definitely interesting and unique, but may fail to keep you feeling especially engaged for all 27 chapters of this game that took me about 13 lucky hours to complete. I have to compliment Deception, or Tecmo's Deception, for its originality, but for me, it isn't exactly the funnest game I've ever played. There are some really cool ideas here, like the unnecessary castle design feature and monster creation that maybe just needed to be fleshed out a little better, so to speak, for this game to hold up, but considering when it came out, it is a bit of a hidden gem. Deception received pretty good reviews when it was released and was praised for its unique gameplay and originality, as it should be. If you're looking for a spooky, evil game to play for Halloween and have patience for a strategy RPG that uses kinda clunky, repetitious gameplay, you may find this game worthwhile.
Hey, would I deceive you? I'll see you next time on another. I'm just kidding. Ah!